Dear viewers, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm here today, Wednesday, with our program, The Roots, episode 2. Today's teaching is about knowing yourself. Knowing yourself. Knowing yourself is a root. Like you've been talking about it all along, there are many roots in us as human beings, which roots we have to discover, which roots we have to put into use, which roots should benefit us in order to have successful life, complete life, joyous life, God-intended life. In our last episode, we read that God created everything that is in Genesis. In that everything He created, there is you and I, what I call man, or human being. Today we are learning that you and I are representatives of God's creation. We are representatives of God's creation. Like you remember, there are many other things God created. But when you are looking at this, it's about you and I. Having known that, you are different from other creatures. You are not a goat, you are not a dog, you are not a plant, name it. And above it all, when He created you and I, man, woman, as our gender stands, He created you in His own image. We shouldn't forget that. In other words, we are in God's likeness. We may not have seen God physically, but we believe He's God. He exists. From His wonders, we can tell God exists. From what we read from our Bible, God exists. From what He does for us individually, God exists. And God created us in His own image. In you and I, there is a quality of being the only one of the kind. God created you as you, man. He created me as me. So when you look at your neighbor, when you look at your friend, when you look at your mother, father, sister, brother, husband, daughter, son, grandmother, grandparent, they are human beings, but individually endowed, individually created with a quality of being the only person of the kind. In other words, you are unique. Remember, we are looking at the root, knowing yourself. You have to know yourself I have to know myself. And all what I have talked about so far brings us to the position of knowing ourselves. Like I said, we may have known ourselves in the same perspective. We may have known ourselves in a different perspective. That's why we are looking at this route, knowing ourselves, myself, yourself. You have no like all equal. You are yourself and myself. You are uncomparable. There is no one else like you. I want those points to sink in our minds. I have no like, all equal. I am uncomparable. There is no one else like me. Because even God has those characters. God has no like, no equal. God is uncomparable. God has no one else like him. That's what it means, being God's creature in his own image. Therefore, a question comes, who am I? Knowing yourself, you should have that question in you. Who am I? Then another question is, what am I? Who are you? What are you? Those are two different questions. The first question is requiring your name. Who am I? My name is Catherine Nsubuga. I am Catherine Nsubuga. Period. That's who you are. Then what am I? What am I is a description or is a question that requires a description of what you are. And for that case, you may have a lot of answers. For example, what am I? I'm a human being. What am I? I'm a woman. I'm a mature person. I'm a teacher. I'm a doctor. I am a babysitter. And so on and so forth. Now, when we are talking about what we are, we have to know that we keep in the line of how unique we are. Oh, there are many teachers, but I am a unique teacher. There are many mothers. I am a unique mother. There are many leaders. I am a unique leader. It's not your making, but God did it when he was creating you. He installed in you that root. What you are is what God made you to be. Now that you have known it, it promotes you. Knowing yourself promotes the self in you. I am myself. I have to start looking at things as I am, not any other person, according to my own perspective. When I'm talking, I have to talk as a unique person. Do I think about what I'm going to talk? Do I think about who I have to talk to? Does what I'm talking about make sense in my perspective, not any other perspective? Knowing myself, knowing yourself, promotes the self in you. The self in you is another root which goes under knowing yourself. In my previous episodes, I talked about life skills, the things that God put in you, that you should have, all that are required in your life. As long as you are living, you require them, you need them. So the self that is promoted in you brings out self-esteem, self-confidence, and any other word that carries self. That's what it means, myself. When you are promoted to yourself, like when the self in is promoted, does it mean you have to be proud? No. God doesn't want us to be proud. Therefore, knowing that you are yourself, you are unique, you have to do things your way, you have to think your way, you have to talk your way, does not mean you have to be proud. I'm talking about pride, which is negative. You know, language is kind of tricky. Sometimes we misuse it, sometimes we use it. It's very okay when I say, oh, I'm proud of you. You see, when you are using that word proud, it is positive. Many of us are proud of others. Many others are proud of us. That is positive. It's a right way of using proud. But then there is that pride that comes in you, having known that I have to do it myself. I am myself. Nobody else is like me. Then I have to walk on tiptoes. Then I have to build wings on me. I have to talk the way that others don't talk. I have to behave the way others don't behave. They are all okay, but do it in a godly manner. That's what I've called not negatively. Do them positively. Do not look down others because I'm myself. God created me as me. Don't talk to me. I mean, that is me. Do not look down others. Do not despise others. Do not put others low because you are yourself. Do not compete. Many times we've got into trouble because of the self in us. It takes us to look at others and we are like, we have to run a race against them. No, that will not bring good results to you. God who created you uniquely, God who created you as the only you, not any other. God who created you uncomparable doesn't want you to compete, because he knows what he put in you is right for you, is enough for you, that's it. And that is all what you need. So don't look in somebody else's life and you try to compare yourself. You are not equal to anybody. And that person you want to compete with is not equal to you, because he is himself. She is herself, in whatever category. Therefore, what do we have to do? Having known that we were uniquely created as we are, try to look into what you are. I'm a teacher. Therefore, there is no other teacher like me. And I have to carry myself as the only teacher of the kind. I'm a mother. Let me carry myself as the only mother of the kind. I'm a pastor. Carry yourself as the only pastor of the kind. Remember, I've said, do not do it for your own interest. Do it to benefit God who created you. And when you do it that way, God will be pleased with you, because he will know that you appreciate what he did for you. Knowing yourself is a root. If you don't know yourself, you are going to cause traffic jam in other people's lives. You are going to be trouble yourself, and you will be trouble to others. You will be so burdened in your life, and you will burden others, because you'll not even know where you should be, why you should be there, what you have to be when you are there, and others will also be messed up. When we read the Bible in the book of Philippians, that was a letter written by Apostle Paul to the church, to the people called Philippians, chapter 4, verse 13, Paul boasts in God alone. He says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Period. Paul was a human being like you. Paul had gone through a lot. In fact, when you read that whole chapter, there are a lot of things he talks about. Paul lived a kind of miserable life somewhere, somehow. And he was trying to say, I've learned to be content in all things. Have I suffered? Yes. Have I ever stayed hungry? Yes. Have I ever lacked anything? Yes. But in all things, I've learned to be content. And above it all, in Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. How good is it for you when you reach that level, like Paul, and you say such words, I can do all things? Many times we use a plural. because we are not sure of ourselves. We can do. Let's do it. I will wait for them so that we do it. Paul says, I was there one time. Now I know I can do all things. How is he sure he can do all things? Because he has self in him, self-esteem, self-confidence. He is sure that he who gives him strength is with him to enable him to do it all. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. My word of encouragement as I close. Start the journey of independence. Now that you have known yourself, whatever status you are, I encourage you to start the journey of independence. Stop being a dependent upon others. You want to go to school? Go. Get through the admission process. Break through. You are looking for a good job or a better job than what you have? Go yourself. There is something you want to start, like a project. You can do it. That is the self in you. You have known yourself. Therefore, the self in you that has been hiding is now promoted. And this will help you to get to places which you've never gone to do things you've never done, to speak with people you've never spoken with, to think uniquely, and to regard others as human beings, because you'll have come to the level of knowing that you are yourself. They are themselves. Therefore, don't be bothered with them so much. If they are not doing things the way you want them to do them, it's not a problem. What you have to do is just to use the self in you to help them get to where they have to go. Remember, knowing yourself is a root that is already in you that you have to discover, use, and you become the kind of person that you have to be in the society and the kind of person that God created you to be. Remember, this program now is live on Facebook. Our program, The Roots. I've decided to do the English part because I still have viewers who want both languages, and I'll try to minimize the time for the benefit of all people who speak different languages. So every Wednesday, go to Facebook. I'll be live like it is today. Right from 11 a.m. onwards, you'll be watching the videos on Roots. Then YouTube will be every Thursday. Anytime you go there, you just go to my account by the names Catherine Nsubuga, and you watch the video. To make it easy, please subscribe, click like, share, comment. Thank you once again for tuning in. I meet you on Thursday. God bless.